This is Art Strickland with the Texas Golf Insider TV program, radio show. And today we're coming to you from the clubs at Houston Oaks, the beautiful Legacy balcony here. And we've got Chet Williams, who's the architect on the new course here at the clubs at Houston Oaks. And so, Chet, let me just ask you, you've been here a lot, and certainly we've seen this and everything. You've spent a lot of time working your craft all over Texas. Tell me what stood out to you when you did a course like here at Houston Oaks.
Well, principally on this golf course, as you know, it is called the clubs at Houston Oaks, and probably the beautiful old oak trees here on this job probably had as much to do with where the golf holes have ended up and how we've worked them in and around the oaks, trying to highlight them and bring them into determine how they were going to be brought into play on the course. And
one of the things I think you've done, just from the view I've had here, you made a very playable course, and I think you had something interesting to say, that the good players can play a lot of courses, but you want to set a course up for the majority of the play, which could be the double-digit handicappers. So talk a little bit about how you introduce challenge, but also how you introduce playability here.
Well, we've tried to make this course what I call a strategic design, where the better players to score a good score are going to have to kind of think their way around it. They can't just go blindly hitting the ball wherever they want, and asking them to be a little bit more precise. Whereas the average player, say maybe your 12 to 25 handicapper, has got a way to get around the course and still shoot a good score.
Obviously, you've got a lot of experience in Texas, done some great Texas golf courses and everything. What is something you enjoyed about doing this course, maybe that you haven't done on some of the other Texas golf courses you've done?
Every course you work on has some different challenges that makes each one unique. The drainage on this project was a very important thing that we had to work with. It was generally a relatively flat piece of property, and sometimes on flat pieces of property also you have to be a little bit more creative with shaping and things to make it interesting.
Right, and I think that also in Southeast Texas, one of the things that you certainly have to work with is the weather. And I know you had a lot of rain days here and slowed your construction, but did that just give you a chance to make sure it's right before it opens up? You don't want to open a course too early, and I guess that's one of the things at Houston Oak, you want to make it, take the time to make it, perfect golf course.
Yes, and I actually, it might sound a little bit strange, but I actually welcome some amounts of rain during the construction process, because it'll actually can help show you where you might have problems while you're still in the construction process.
Right. I think one of the holes that when golfers come out here to play is that the Island Green, number 5, par 3. Talk a little bit about what your thought is to have a really memorable hole there.
Well, that's interesting how that hole came up. We had to relocate about 3 of the existing holes out on this course from the original course, and to find room for the new holes, we needed to use a corner, the very north corner of the property, and that north corner of the property happened to be a lake. It was an existing lake, and rather than, it was actually an attractive lake, so rather than fill it in to put a big part of a golf hole, I felt it was the most sensitive way to treat the area, to try to keep the beauty of the existing lake and its surroundings.
And that'll certainly be a hole that golfers, when you come out here and play, members, guests, people that want to consider being a part of this facility, that's something they're going to remember a lot. But, Chet Williams' name is on a lot of great courses in Texas, and this certainly, the clubs at Houston Oaks will be very near the top of the list when it's all said and done. Look forward to playing the completed version when it's ready next year, but we appreciate you taking the time to talk a little about your thought process and talk a little bit about what makes Houston Oaks so special.
Thanks a lot, Art. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Reporting for the Texas Golf Insider TV and radio show, this is Art Strickland.